Shazay Block, February 13, 2025, 10:26 p.m. Title: The Hidden Truth. A hotel owner's fight for justice. Imagine this. You're the proud owner of a luxurious 5-star hotel. You've poured your heart and soul into creating a haven of elegance and impeccable service. One day, curious to see your hotel through the eyes of your guests, you decide to visit incognito. But what happens next is shocking. You're treated like an outsider, ignored, dismissed, and even denied service. The reason? The color of your skin. You stand there, stunned, as the staff looks down on you, completely unaware that you're the owner of the very hotel they work for. This is exactly what happened to Sarah Hamilton, a successful black woman and the owner of the prestigious Crystal Palm Hotel. What would you do in that moment? How would you handle such injustice, knowing the power you hold? Keep reading to uncover Sarah's story. It's not what you'd expect. The unexpected visit. One day, Sarah decided to visit her hotel dressed in simple clothes, jeans, a plain shirt, and sneakers. She wanted to experience her hotel as an ordinary guest, to see how the staff treated everyday people. But what unfolded was beyond anything she could have imagined. As she stepped into the grand lobby, with its shimmering chandeliers and polished marble floors, everything seemed perfect. Guests were greeted with warm smiles, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of fresh flowers. But when Sarah approached the front desk to ask for a room, the receptionist, a tall young man in a crisp uniform, glanced at her and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but this hotel isn't for people like you." Sarah's heart stopped. People like you? What did that mean? She smiled politely and asked, "Excuse me, what do you mean?" The man's expression turned cold. "This is a luxury hotel. We have a certain standard of guests here. Maybe you'd like to try a place down the street. They offer more affordable accommodations." The words stung. Was he refusing her because of her simple clothes, or was it something deeper? Sarah had experienced subtle racism before, but here, in her own hotel, it felt like a betrayal. She could have revealed her identity right then and there, but she decided to wait. She needed to see how deep this problem went. The restaurant incident. Instead of leaving, Sarah headed to the hotel's restaurant. She approached the hostess stand, where a young woman stood with a polite but distant expression. "Hi, could I get a table, please?" Sarah asked. The hostess glanced at her, scanning her outfit from head to toe. "Do you have a reservation?" she asked flatly. "No, but I thought, we're fully booked," the hostess interrupted, her tone dismissive. Sarah peeked past her and saw at least 5 empty tables. "I see there are some tables available," she pointed out, keeping her voice steady. The hostess didn't even turn to look. "They're reserved." Sarah's frustration boiled over. "You didn't even check the system. Are you sure they're reserved?" The hostess crossed her arms, looking bored. "Yes, ma'am, they're reserved." Sarah took a deep breath. She was done playing nice. "Are you refusing to serve me because of the way I look, or is it something else?" The hostess didn't respond, but the look in her eyes said it all. There was no apology, no reconsideration. Sarah's heart pounded. How many other guests had been treated like this? It was clear this wasn't just one staff member's attitude, there was something much bigger going on. The confrontation. As Sarah was about to leave the restaurant, the same man from the front desk approached her, this time with 2 security guards. "Ma'am, we need to ask you to leave the premises," he said firmly. Sarah stared at him in disbelief. "Excuse me? This is private property, and we have the right to refuse service to anyone," he said, his voice louder now, drawing the attention of other guests in the lobby. Shazay Block, February 13, 2025, 10:26 p.m. Security guards? They were treating her like a troublemaker in her own hotel. But instead of exploding in anger or revealing her identity, Sarah did something surprising. She smiled and said, "All right, I'll leave." As she walked out of the grand lobby, her head held high, she knew exactly what she was going to do next, and it wasn't what anyone expected. The investigation begins. The next morning, Sarah met with her assistant, Rachel, to devise a plan. She decided to go undercover as a guest again, this time with Rachel's help, to gather more evidence. Over the next few days, Sarah experienced firsthand the discrimination and mistreatment that certain guests faced. She also uncovered a shocking truth. Mr. Adams, the head of guest relations, was at the center of it all. He had been systematically discriminating against guests who didn't fit the hotel's luxury image, and even siphoning money from the business. But the corruption didn't stop with Adams. Sarah discovered that a powerful board member, Mr. Thorne, had been protecting him for years. Together, they had created a culture of discrimination and greed that went all the way to the top. The final showdown. With the help of Rachel, Robert, the hotel manager, and other brave employees, Sarah gathered enough evidence to confront Adams and Thorne. In a tense meeting, she revealed her identity and presented the proof of their wrongdoing. Despite their attempts to intimidate her, Sarah stood her ground. "This ends now," she declared. The authorities were called, and Adams and Thorne were arrested. The hotel underwent a complete transformation, with new policies and staff to ensure that every guest, regardless of their background, was treated with respect and dignity. ### A new beginning. Weeks later, the Crystal Palm Hotel was a different place. Sarah had taken back control of her dream, and this time, she vowed to never let anyone take it from her again. The hotel became a symbol of inclusivity and fairness, a place where everyone felt welcome. Sarah's story is a powerful reminder that justice requires courage, determination, and the willingness to stand up for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against you. What would you do if you were in Sarah's shoes? How far would you go to fight for justice? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.